All right, in today's episode, we sit down with Kassi Allen. She owns Anchored Coffee, a local coffee shop, and she's also the director of fundraising at the Red and Blue Foundation, a local nonprofit that helps our first responders. After the recent tragedy in Coeur d'Alene, they stepped up big time, and we're going to talk about that today, some of the challenges they've overcame and some of the benefit they provided to this amazing community. So stick around. This is going to be a really good and heartfelt episode. All right. Hey, welcome back to the North Idaho Experience Podcast for the people in North Idaho and those who are North Idaho curious. This is another, we have a lot of special episodes lately, and this is another one we're going to sneak in midweek. Kassi Allen is with us today. You're locally well known. I'm just going to say it. Like, everybody knows Kassi. Yeah. Okay. Kassi owns Anchored Coffee in town. There's a bunch of them in town, and I highly encourage you to give her your business because you'll find out here why in this episode. But she's here today to talk about the Red and Blue Foundation. She is the director of fundraising. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this foundation is very near and dear to our hearts here in Coeur d'Alene. Especially recently, I'm sure you've all heard of the tragedy that unfolded recently with several firefighters locally. It's going to have a huge impact on our first responders here for a long time to come. So Kassie's a big part of that. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk about that and talk about some of what this foundation is doing and some of the other foundations that have come to play a part in this recent incident. So thank you, Kassi.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
If our community had a team mom, it would be Kassi.
That's it.
Like her level of organization. She actually had a 1 hour consult with me on trying to organize me, which there's probably the only thing she's failed at in the last decade.
That would be an undertaking. Yes. I am slowly chipping away at him as far as using reminders on his phone and calendar.
Yeah. Oh, the calendaring.
Yes.
I live by that. Mm-hmm. I can't function without it. And Eric somehow, he's getting it. You're getting it.
Baby steps, bro.
Like,
old dog, new tricks.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint a little bit of a picture of how I met Kassi and kind of where this came from. Because I think when you can see the altruistic nature of how she ended up in this position, you were like a mentor for a bunch of new cops. I don't know if you knew that. You were never in law enforcement. You were super close to it. Your dad was a trooper and he was in the Army. But you started a coffee shop after working at Starbucks for a long time. And you invited cops to come in because you knew they didn't have a safe place to sit down. We're weird and neurotic, and we don't like putting our backs to the door. So we used to do our briefings at your coffee shop, which was awesome.
Is that the one on 95?
Yeah.
With the cool table?
Yep.
I've been in there, and that table's awesome. There's a CHP patch under there now. I passed off to the girls.
There's a whole bunch. I think we all got together and contributed that table because that was like our unofficial meeting spot where you could feel safe and then not worry about the ears.
That is so cool to have that.
The ears of the administration listening to all of our conversations. But there were some important decisions I had to make, and you were always a really good ear for that for me, and I know you were for several others as well. So it's no surprise to see you in that role doing amazing things.
Thank you.
I just don't want to make the emphasis like this is we talked about it. It's a critical incident where you get put to the test, but the groundwork for what you've built was set long before this, and it wouldn't have gone this way if you weren't prepared, if you hadn't prepared the way you did. So,
yeah, we these are things we don't want to prepare for, but you have to, because if we didn't, I can't imagine what the last 3 weeks would have been like.
Right.
What can you give us a rundown of what the Red and Blue Foundation does for those that don't know?
Yes, so we help in critical incidents like this, and then we also have a mental health program that one of our board members runs, confidential therapy, and in any time of crisis. So if we have someone that has a child with cancer, we help them not only pay for the treatments, but find the best treatment, which we had one. He speaks about it publicly, so I'll say it on here. The only place in the country his son could be seen was in Memphis. So it was networking through other fire departments to see if we could help find him a place to stay, get the treatment, do all of the things. And that this can get expensive. It's the flights. It was during COVID, so trying to make sure that they were getting the testing that they needed. So our whole team kind of bands together to do that. And it's as little, it's as little as things like an unexpected medical bill or, which can make or break you. We're not privy to people's financial information, but in our area, we have departments that make very, very little and departments that make a lot. And so it's hard to navigate sometimes what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. I can attest to that. As a cop for the first 10 years, I was living paycheck to paycheck.
Oh, yeah, you're scraping by.
Yeah. Especially if you're single family or a single income family. It's tough.
And I know you talked about it before. What's the structure of your guys' board now as the Red and Blue Foundation sits now? What kind of people do you have on it?
So we have 12 board members. We have police, fire, spouses, business owners, bankers, benefits specialists, and everyone has an assigned seat. So when anything happens and we go to vote, it kind of falls in whose assigned seat it is. So we talk about it as a group, but it's nice to have all of these specialty roles on the board because, we have a financial person that can help you if you're like, man, I'm not making enough money when my wife's staying home, we have a baby on the way. They'll sit down with you and go over what all of your options are. Our benefits specialist will go over what your benefits package is and explain it to you so that if we get into a place where it's like, okay, you have to have back surgery and you're going to be out for the next 6 months, this is what you need to save for, this is what your out-of-pocket maximum is going to be, and then we talk as a group how we can help you through that. We're also very resourceful. We make friends really easily. So working with someone like Doc Hilvers, we have him in our back pocket. We helped him get up here, and he will refer some of our first responders to other clinics throughout Idaho or even Eastern Washington to get the best care that they can. So, being able to network through all of these through the people that we have on the board is amazing.
Yeah, I could see that being unique, especially with a Red and Blue Foundation. You'd anticipate a lot of cops, a lot of fire, and that's going to be your whole board. But that's not super beneficial. It's great, but that's not going to, be experts in either the management, allocation of funds, financing portion, anything like that. It's pretty cool. And I could see why other foundations would reach out to you, see how you guys established yours. How did you end up getting into this?
So I lost my dad to suicide in 2014. And up to that point, I'd been at Starbucks for, 10, 12 years. And I felt like my mission had changed. So I no longer just wanted to manage people and someday, be the CEO of Starbucks. I needed to be able to reach first responders in a way that I currently couldn't. So I opened Anchored to be really the vessel of being able to reach more and do more within the mental health realm. And at the time, one of the firefighters that had been coming into Starbucks, I told him what I wanted to do, and he was like, hey, we have this group, and it kind of does this mission, but it was more medical or more like critical injury instead of it being like day-to-day things. So I joined the board. It had way more people at the time. It was structured completely different, and gradually we invited new people to be on to kind of merge it into what we do today.
And you touched on this. Sorry, you touched on this beforehand. It's all volunteer.
All volunteer.
Which is insane because that allows you guys to 100% of donations, pretty much, right?
Yeah. We only use it for first responders. So like with this one, for instance, it's all 100% going back to the families, but we do have our general fund that is really our day-to-day. We get, I think the month we had the most was we had 10 requests that come in. And so every single department, we have 17 departments that we support. Everyone has a rep that can reach out to us. But if Eric Boardman's the rep for his department and somebody doesn't feel comfortable, they can also send us through our website. They can reach out, or they can even come through. We have resources on the website, but you can come through Anchored. And we've had, I've probably had a dozen cops come through and say, hey, I need help. And we let them know who they can reach out to, which category it falls into, and we try to get them help within 24 hours or get someone working on it. It's been especially nice with the mental health one because we can give them a list of 12 to 15 providers that they can reach out to, and they try to get them in within 48 hours.
That's incredible. Are there any state resources here? So I worked as a cop in California, and there was, I don't know, in the briefing room there was on the board, it was like some number you could call if you needed anonymous help. Is there something like that here, or is this it?
There is. It's not it's not used a lot because the problem that we see with a lot of those is they are new clinicians, and they don't specialize in first responders. Like you guys are a unique breed already.
That makes a huge difference.
And then when you think of like all of the different things that you see and do and your family lives, just the stressors of the job, we have a cultural competency test that you have to go through in order to be on our clinician team.
I love that.
Yeah, because it's, you know, like the dark humor. Like you might scare
How comfortable
someone.
are you with the F word?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. Heather and I send each other memes every once in a while that are things like that. It's like, oh no, I went and I made my therapist cry. But it's true.
It is true.
Yeah.
It is true. I've been there.
But we use a guy out of the west side of Washington. We use a couple people in Southern California, and they vet whoever, you know, sends an inquiry to Heather. They have to go through a full vetting process in order to be on the clinician team that can see one of our first responders.
Well, I think that's just as much for them as it is for the
Yes.
people that would visit and be like, are you sure you really want this?
Well, and they usually give
I'm
like
about to
a
dump some.
How's your mental health?
Yeah.
Let's check this out.
they'll give like a fake scenario based on things that they've had walk in the door and see how that person does with it. And usually, you know, if they're newer to that work, usually big eyes and they're like, I have no idea.
I'll
This
tell
is
you,
every day. Come on.
Yeah, this is a Tuesday.
I'm still loving the idea that you go through the drive-through. You're like, I'll take a 16-ounce Americano with honey, and can you give me an appointment? And it's been a rough week. Like that's pretty.
I know.
That's
You
pretty
can't find
sick.
that anywhere else.
Okay,
Come
this
on.
was like what you said. When Greg was killed, I remember talking to some of the guys, and they had gone out to Denny's. You know, Denny's smoking section, non-smoking section. You can sit there at 2 a.m. And they were trying to, you know, talk about what had happened. And a customer had called in a complaint to the PD about what she heard. And I was heartbroken. I'm like, where else can you go? So that's why I Eric Brakey built me the table so that you guys could sit at it and you could have those conversations with, I don't care what you say. I don't care if it's 4 a.m. and you want to talk about a dead body. Like, it doesn't bother me.
Right.
I heard about all the dead bodies.
Yeah, but number one, that's not totally fair to you because I bring it up. I don't feel bad saying I was one of those that came in and said, hey, I think I'm ready to go talk to somebody, right? And I felt so weird the first couple of times. Like, are you sure you're good with me talking about some of this? Like, I'm more worried about you because you catch some of that third hand, right? Like, inevitably, and you hear about a lot because you were kind of doing it without doing it, just from the coffee shop window. But do you have to prepare the girls that are coming to work there? Like,
Yes.
Oh,
so
by the way.
we
Earmuffs.
talk about
Yeah.
it, in the
Yeah.
interview process. We, it's such a unique business model, but we do talk about it in the interview process that we do have a lot of first responders that come in here. What's said in here is confidential, and if you're uncomfortable with some of these things, step away or go downstairs and make a latte
Right.
or whatever. But I grew up hearing those things, and I think I'm wired differently because I didn't have to, feel it, smell it, see it, any of it. So I'm like, if it helps you to get it out of your backpack to say it out loud to me, I will gladly take that because when I go home at night, I typically don't think about them. I'm just glad
Right.
that you said it.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, and I don't know, I think nationally, or at least in the state, the stigma has started to change a little bit when it comes to mental health for first responders, and it's getting treated more like exercise, like try to consider your mental health when the divorce rate's really high and your life expectancy is really low and all of these things that go with it. But whatever it was, your contribution, I don't think could be underscored enough because I've watched it. I've been a cop since 2014. I know what the stigma was then. It was still very much, oh, go climb into a bottle, drink it off, and you'll be fine. Or, just suck it up. That was kind of the mentality. And it's changed a lot now to where there are people that I never would have expected to go. I was one of those that I never would have expected to go and can really see the benefit. And it seems like people are having an easier time re-engaging with family, reprioritizing, because sometimes the job tends to put itself at the top and it shouldn't be. And I think people struggle with going back or leaving or retiring when it's, when you've put that as your priority for your entire life.
Yeah. And, the identity crisis when you're getting close to retirement, that's one of the things that we try to bring awareness to is the life expectancy when you leave the job is 5 years, which is insane.
That's
5 years.
That's how pension systems work, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It sucks.
But just like you said, with exercise, you're keeping your body fit. You have to keep your mind fit too. And you're not only talking about the things that you see on the job, but what about your childhood? What about your marriage? Like anything, you don't go in there just to talk about one subject or one incident. You think you do, usually talking about one incident, but
you don't.
It's everything.
It has very little to do with that incident, because a lot of times I think it's like whole picture and how you respond. I don't know, some freaking crazy brain dork ninja stuff that I don't know. All right, whatever voodoo science that is. I'm probably terrible to deal with, by the way, in one of these settings. I just never shut up, and I don't never shut up, and I don't really say anything. But I got value out of it, so I thank her for her tolerance.
It's just having an anonymous ear to listen to you.
Right.
Everybody else outside of the circle, because everybody else in our lives, like, it impacts. Right. I would tell my wife some things, but there are some things I'm like, I'm not putting that in her head ever. But you go to a therapist, and after you get to know them, you're like, well, all right, sorry, but I'm going to put this shit in your head.
But some of the ones you vet are great, because they'll call you out too.
Yes.
They'll say, hey, you're
accountability.
You're being an idiot. Like, that's not. No. I'm going to check you right there. Like, some of that is reasonable. Some of it's completely not. And they have to be able to do that. I think first responders respect that a little bit.
Yep.
All right. So you're not calling me a little bitch, but I'm kind of being a little bitch right now. All right, that's fair.
Yes.
It's valid. It's valid. It's totally righteous.
Okay, Red and Blue Foundation. How have you guys been? What have you been doing the last 3 weeks? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, there's some anonymity here, but
Sleeping a lot?
the best you can.
God, I cannot.
Yeah.
It's been a 3-week marathon,
I
because
imagine.
I don't want to miss anyone. I think that's the biggest struggle here, is like, I don't want to miss a phone call. I don't want to fail anyone. So trying to make sure that everyone's needs are met. Because we're dealing with 2 large departments, families, actually 3 departments, and then you got to think about the ripple effect with everyone else. So we, when I saw it come out on the media, I started a group text with a couple other board members, and so we had 4 in town within probably 30 minutes on at one of the fire stations, where we were on our laptops trying to figure out exactly what was needed, got our trailer, picked up food, got everything to the command post, did some drops at the hospital, and we're just trying to figure out exactly what the needs were. One of the things that we saw in previous tragedies was there's 100 GoFundMes that pop up. So we tried to get ahead of that immediately, which luckily for us, we got on social media. Jessica, who's our IT person and a complete godsend, she came to town, helped out, and then immediately went home to get on her computer so that we could just send her everything. Right. So it was social media posts, getting bank accounts set up so that we made sure we had separate ones for the family, separate ones for the incident, aside from our normal general fund that we have. And then it was all about just, what are the needs? So we had family liaisons and we had department liaisons. So those of us that were taking phone calls directly, it was like anyone could call you at any time. So we were feeding 3 fire stations, 3 meals a day for 2 weeks.
You guys are organized.
So Jessica's really good at Google Drive. I'm not.
But
she will make me a spreadsheet and I can execute it.
Well, the fact that you have liaisons for this honestly should be a model of other programs across the country.
Yeah. And I want to dive into that a little bit, just for people that are listening that haven't experienced something like this or aren't familiar. When she's talking about people setting up GoFundMes, GoFundMes not only take a percentage of those donations, but you're relying on the person that established it in order for those funds to get where they're supposed to go.
Yes.
It's always better to try to get to that locally established foundation. In this instance, Red and Blue, and that's a foundation that's always there, or whatever foundation they set up for that particular incident, because then that money you have a far better chance of that money getting to where you want it to
100% of it, right? I mean,
Yes.
I don't know what the GoFundMe takes, but they take a good chunk.
I think it's 3%.
Oh, that's not that much, actually.
3%, and then there's some other fees and stuff that go along with it. But again, then you're relying on that person, and you can see it. I mean, there's been a lot of different things out there where GoFundMe's found to be, that money doesn't always go where it's supposed to.
Right.
So just ensure that your hard-earned dollars are going where you want them to go.
Well, and there's even organizations that claim to be donating money, but you have to kind of read between the lines on what they're saying when they say this money is going towards mental health of our community or whatever. That money's not going to the family. That's
Right.
not going towards the mental health of first responders. They're doing it to fund their program. So we were shutting down. Jessica was spending 12 hours a day going through comment sections and people with pop-up fundraisers saying, when can we expect to see these funds? 'Cause we also want to hold people accountable that if you're saying you're donating to us, we're donating to the family. So if you're going to be using our name, we're going to make sure that we're collecting on that.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely. So there were people that were trying to use that in order to fund other programs.
Yes.
So you've seen the dark side of that.
Yep.
Too.
Oh, a handful of times we've seen that.
Well, that's why I texted you before we put out our video before, where we wanted to get Red and Blue Foundation in front of anybody that we could. I said, hey, can you vet these for me? Sorry to add to your plate of things,
Yeah.
but anything you're
But
like.
a lot of them we were, and that was part of the department liaisons too, is anything that came to them, they would just forward to us. Cause I was like, I don't work for anyone. So I don't care if I have to, be a little more firm. Cause no one's going to call and be like, this cop at Coeur d'Alene PD was mean to me. It's just me.
Yep.
So I was like, pass them on. And
Yeah.
so, their HR departments were sending us different Facebook fundraisers and a lot of voicemails that people were leaving. We were calling back on, and, we had the capacity to do that. So
How do you guys, when someone wanted to donate in that instance, how does that money get to you? What's the easiest way for people to do?
the easiest way is online.
Okay.
If I know that First Interstate has grown a lot, so there's branches all over, but it's easiest if they just go online. But they can just walk into a First Interstate branch too with a check and say, this is for the Canfield incident, and we directly put it in that account. Or they can pick a different account to put it in. If they're wanting to raise for Dave's family, they can put it directly in Dave's account.
Or they can go online and just
Yep, on our donate
put their credit
page.
card in or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
it has
easy. Good.
it has all of them listed out, so it's really easy to find.
Can you get coffee and give them a check while you're there?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
there we
were a drop-off spot too.
That's
Of course.
cool.
Yeah.
Of
Perfect.
course.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's
Whatever
awesome.
we can to make it easy.
Yeah.
And we're in year 7 with Anchored, so I feel like we're a pretty trustworthy place for you
Yeah.
to drop off.
Literally, cops come and sit in
Yes.
your coffee shop so that they can talk plainly.
We've only had 2 incidents where something sketchy happened in our parking lot, and I'm like, why here? You're obviously
I was
not
on-
from here.
I was on
Oh,
duty
yeah.
for one of those. I was like, oh, I'll be there. We're going to have about 9 units. Let's see what's up. You're about to
Everyone.
leave this freaking parking lot on our coffee shop.
Oh
No,
my
thank you.
gosh. Are there any updates you can provide on the incident from your side as far as getting help to, can you talk about Dave?
Yes. So Dave landed in Denver
Okay.
early last week. And last week was really mostly tests and whatnot to see what different treatments he can get. But obviously it's going to be a long road. We're anticipating, a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks down there. But it's so great that he was accepted into that facility, because if anyone has a running shot at this, it's Dave. He is stubborn. He's the most hardworking person I've ever met. He works 7 days a week. So it's,
Yeah, he's tough.
he is.
He built that. Got some grit.
Yeah.
Yeah, some North Idaho
Yep.
grit. That's good to hear.
That's good that he got into that center. So
Yeah.
that should be helpful.
And just that, we've seen such an outpouring of support from our community. And we've seen tragedy before, and I've seen the community come together. But to also be able to have him received in Denver the way that he was, there's 50 firefighters waiting for him to land, and, they did their own procession to the hospital down
awesome.
there. Like that, the firefighter community is a whole different world. We had 990 travel for the funerals.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And from all over, like there was one gal directing traffic, and she was from Miami.
Yeah.
And, there's a guy from the Honor Guard from Georgia, and beautiful.
That is really cool
Yep.
to see that. What other foundations came to play in this, or had a part in this?
The JW Foundation,
Okay.
their mission, they provide financial support for the first 3 months, because with things like this, with line of duty death, you don't get a check the next day. So you don't have any money coming in. So they pay for the first 3 months worth of bills.
Are they local, or is that? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So Jesse's family runs it. I can't remember who all is on the board, but it's some retired firefighters. Jesse's mom. He's a city PD guy, detective.
He's a detective.
Yeah. But his dad passed away a few years back. He was a training chief. So they did it in his honor, is what he wanted.
Gotcha.
So, we're super close with them. We work with them a lot. Some people are interesting because they think that we're competing like businesses, and we're not. We all work together. There's one called Spoken Outdoors. He does like fishing and hunting excursions. He doesn't do it for PTSD, but per se, but it's a way to get everyone out on the water and do, a team building exercise or just so you can be calm, we work with them. He reached out to me immediately and pitched a tent at our Dalton stand to start taking donations right away. So we had water, all the things that people were bringing. He was coordinating that. And then him and his wife and his daughter delivered meals. They helped us coordinate things, that sort of support even for us, because we're only 12. We only have 12 people, and not everyone was even available at the time because one of the guys on our board works for Coeur d'Alene Fire, so he was out immediately. We deleted him from the group chat so that he didn't get 600 messages a day. And then we had another incident in Post Falls that our Post Falls officer was taking care of, so it starts to dwindle down.
Wait, am I about to be a part of that group chat?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Welcome.
Can we announce it?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I'm going to be a part of the mental health board with Red and Blue Foundation. I'm a huge fan of that. I've told you what my thoughts are on how instrumental you were in changing that stigma here and the foundation in and of itself. And I think, in talking to you before, even I didn't realize, so for 3 weeks, anybody that contributed goes straight to the families of the affected in this incident. But there's going to be a lot after this. I mean, I've lived through one of these before with a local officer, and a lot of the people that responded up there did some things and saw some things of good friends that aren't easily, those are going to stick for a little while.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some folks, and for a while they'll stay busy and they'll put their hat on, they'll put their gear on and go right back out and do the job that needs to get done. But there's going to come a time where there's going to be a significant need. So for those out there listening, and especially those that contributed, huge amount of thanks. Just know that the mission's going to continue, and there might be a bigger need now than there was before.
Oh, there will be. And we've already seen, our therapists cleared their schedules so that they were available for debriefs. And then I saw a couple of them at the hospital the same day. But there's, fortunately for us this time around, we do have the team that we have to actually see people, and for all the right reasons.
Right. Well, and a few of us put them through some dry runs, so they're used to our brand of humor. That's good. You're welcome for my service, just being an asshole. No.
You're right, though. I mean, this is going to affect guys and gals for potentially years to come. Having been around some things like that too, it doesn't really go away. You just got to learn how to cope with it and reach out, utilize the resources that are available. Another one, Tunnels to Towers.
Yes.
They had a big part, right?
Oh man. So our chapter head for here, she's a great lady, and we've been sponsoring the run for the last couple of years. Anchored has, and it's one of those things that it's like, oh my gosh, I hope we never have to use this. But she was all over it so quickly. The head of their organization reached out to both families the same week, and paid off their mortgages, which that's huge.
Paid off their mortgages.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just reducing and getting rid of some of those stressors before you even know they're stressors. You're just trying to put your loved one in the ground, and then realizing, that's got to be overwhelming for some that don't have that. Going back and going, oh my God, how are we going to survive? It's totally different.
And what do you, there's so many things that it's like, do you go back to work the next week?
Right.
Like, how much time do you get to take off if you have all of this debt, or, you have all these other things, and for them to be able to do that one thing.
Yeah, that's huge.
Massive.
Yep.
How is Idaho stand for line of duty deaths as far as the state? Is it department by department as far as like what happens?
I'm not sure department wise. Do you mean for like a payout?
Yeah.
Because there's a national one, that the public safety one, and it also includes critical injury, but I'm not sure what the state has.
I don't remember it being that much.
It's my understanding the critical injury is not great at all, because I'm
like
thinking of Mike.
25,000 or something?
Yeah, some of that.
I don't feel like it's a ton.
No.
It wouldn't even make a dent. I mean, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't really make a dent in the expenses that are coming.
The expenses, and you have to think too, like if you're 35 and you are killed in the line of duty, you have to think of that was your retirement, like your Percy gone. You only get what was put in there.
Yeah.
And all of the things too for these widows, just from my experience seeing my mom, it's like My mom's putting up the Christmas lights. My mom's mowing the lawn. My mom's doing the gravel in the driveway. Like, it's all of these other things too that, like, you don't have your husband for any of this anymore. So those are things too that we try to set up where it's like, you know, we want you to know that we're here for you in the long haul. We're not going away. So if 2 years from now you need somebody to start mowing your lawn, like, we're going to figure that out.
Yeah, but see, that's who else could provide that? You lived that. You saw that.
Yeah.
So it's thinking, and that's where I see a lot of connection with you, is you think about the things that other people's wouldn't. This isn't just about financial, hey, yeah, we'll help you out and we'll help pay your bills. It's, hey, here's the new normal, right?
Yep.
Here's the new normal, and we're going to help you with that part too moving forward.
And it's your year of firsts. You know, we call it the second first. So you have your first birthday, your first holiday without this person. So how do we help you get through that?
Yeah.
And, you know, we like 3 weeks is a hard time because, you know, the activities are done, the tasks are done. So now people have to start grieving.
Right.
So we see an uptick in the mental health at 3 weeks, and then again at 3 months, and then at 6 months. Like, there's certain pieces of it, but there's also, you know, 5 years, 10 years. Like, it's a lot to overcome.
If ever, I mean,
Yeah.
it'll always stay. There'll always be something, just your response to it. But that drives me nuts, Seth, what you're talking about. In 35 years old, you lose somebody that's 35 years old. They had an entire income from them there to that point, and it pisses me off in a lot of ways, because how many personal injury attorneys are getting rich saying that, oh, you would have made $7 million throughout the life of your retirement and your pension, and they get that payout because they got bumped at 15 miles an hour in a freaking Winco parking lot, right? But when it comes to a first responder losing their life, it's not equated the same way. It's like, here's your, you know, even in the military, I think our SGLI is like $450,000 or $500,000. In today's day and age, that dries up really, really fast.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
That's not even enough to buy a house.
Exactly. Does my wife not get to
clear.
work for 2 years? Like 2 years trying to raise young kids by themselves?
I'm wondering if Idaho is a little bit behind in that, because I feel like California, if I were to have died in the line of duty, I feel like my wife would have gotten my pension. I guess I don't know. I don't know if it would be up to that point or whatever, but it would be a reasonable amount of money. Maybe she could live off it, maybe not. Then I'm also wondering about medical retirement. So is Dave going to be able to go back to work? And if not, I've heard Idaho does not have a medical retirement for first responders. Is that correct?
They do, and that's recent, but it's really hard. You'd probably know more about it than me.
It depends on what it is, and it's low.
Yeah. See?
And it's really hard to get. And I don't even
Yeah.
think they recognize mental health as a viable.
So they recognize mental health now. Doc Hilver has helped lobby for that, but again, it's not easy to obtain. You know, you have to jump through all sorts of hoops, and by the time you're done with it, it's like, I'll just do the job.
Yeah.
Or I'll be a UPS driver. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. I almost wonder if that's a fight worth fighting with state legislators or whoever.
It seems like it's such a unique state. I mean, I looked at it. I had 12 years. You know how many I had? And I had started when I was 31. You remember. But I started when I was 31 years old. So after 12, I had 15 more years to go. I think that's another part of it. Other states, there are 20, and then you have an option for retirement.
Yes.
Damn. I mean, do you think the requirement is too long in the state of Idaho?
I do. That's something that I would lobby for all day long. I mean, for cops and firefighters, when you can do 20 and out, that's awesome. When you think about the things that it puts your body through and your mind through to do this job at 65, I know cops that worked at 65 doing the job. And that's
It's too old. It's too old. No offense to anybody's out there doing it. I know there's some studs doing it, but your body's beat up.
It's a percentage thing. How
You
many
don't
of them
need to
are
get in fights?
How many of them are good?
right.
How many of them are good?
Yes.
How many of them are good physically? And then how many are doing the job well for their community? That's the hard part, right? Like, because I used to call them, they were retired on duty. We all know, okay, we can picture somebody as soon as I say that, that probably was well past their expiration date in the profession, that no longer, it's not even that they didn't believe in it. They just didn't have it anymore. There's a right way to do the job, and it's with everything you got. And it's sooner or later.
But they've got 2 divorces, and they just have to keep working, right?
Well, and most of them, it's financial and it's benefits. Like, how do you make that much money and then now you have to pay $1,200 a month in benefits for you and your child?
Yep.
Right.
That nobody
It's a
can
mortgage.
afford that.
Yeah, it's a freaking mortgage.
They since after I got hired on CHP, they upped the minimum retirement age to 57. So if you come on at 21, you cannot retire It doesn't matter how many years you have on. It's the minimum age. It was 50 when I came on. So you have to work from 21 to 57. 36 years? That's insane. They're going to have a problem.
That's not
as
realistic.
these men and women start to age up like that. Yeah, it's not realistic.
When you look at, it's not like policing is a well-desired job anymore because of the way that you are treated and the way that you're portrayed to the public. So people are going to do 10 years and then leave.
Right.
For sure.
Why wouldn't you?
Why? When you're staring down, I just did 10 years, I got to do 26 more years.
When I see guys walk in and they have their phone and the countdown to retirement is on their phone, I'm like, you should delete that.
That's, I lived it for like years. I was like, I can't wait till I retire to do X. And it's not the way to live.
Man, it's not about
not good.
It's not. I've changed my. It's not about the finish line. You better enjoy the ride because you never know. And this is a great incident to bring it up, right? You just never know when it's your day, and it can be anything. It could be disease. It could be a car crash. It could be something completely random, a random violent encounter, evil violent encounter, which this one was. So enjoy the ride. Don't just wait on. Don't be thinking about the finish line.
If you get some shit you want to do, just go do it.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that people don't talk about with you guys is the way that you do your jobs. You have so many skills. And this is something that I was telling Eric when he was talking about leaving. Project management, like you start going through categories where it's like you have to have these 12 qualifications to work here. 9 times out of 10 you have those.
Yeah, unless it involves a calendar, then he's not. He's out.
If you have to color code it.
It wasn't project organizer, Seth. Okay, it wasn't that.
We talk about that all the time. I mean, the ability to communicate. If you can communicate with a grieving mother who's just lost a child, and you can communicate with a tweaker and still achieve the goals of what you need to achieve, then you can communicate with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And communication is like the number one skill in just damn near any job. So
problem solving in highly adverse, risky scenarios where the stakes are high, and the ability to build rapport and keep calm and de-escalate and do all of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. I tell cops that all the time. I could name exactly who I said to last, and I guarantee you'd probably pick it. I was like, dude, you can do other things. And I'm not trying to talk anybody out of law enforcement. I'm absolutely not.
No, do the job. We love you.
Yes. Can I say that and also say that I'm totally good with people that want to leave it?
Yes.
Can I respect the shit out of the job and appreciate the hell out of those that are doing it and still say it's okay to leave? Mm-hmm. You can do it for as long as you can effectively and still leave, and it's okay, right? Leave on your. How many people in this line of work get to leave on their own terms? I'm unbelievably blessed for that, and I recognize it. Not many. It's either mentally they're out, physically they're out, life circumstance, and they have to get out or they retire.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel the same way if you left after 12 or you left after 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to miss it. There's going to be things that you there's going to be things that you miss. I definitely do. This pales in comparison to anybody else, but this incident was hard for me on the sideline. That's the first time, right? So that was weird new role. But I'm a huge proponent of that. If you're going to go lobby for 20 years, you have a partner in that, because I just don't think we're getting a good return on that investment either.
Same. And I think as far as, you guys being in real estate, the markets around here, like our pay has to match that too.
Yeah.
We're asking people to work for 30, 40 years doing this job at way less pay than lots of other states are.
You can go 20 miles over the border and get paid.
Yes.
And
which
heck
we
a lot
see,
more. Yep.
For years we were the farm team, and, putting guys through the academy, and the turnover was so crazy.
Yeah.
And now there are times that I go to the PD and I'm like, I don't know half the people that work here, and they're all babies.
Right. And out of my academy class, it's me and one other one that are left. And 3 of them went to Spokane County. And there's nothing worse. And by the way, pay now it's much better. Mm-hmm. Still needs work, but it's much better than it was. And our boy, JS, whose wife may or may not be on the board, he was a stud when it came to trying to get collective bargaining and earning more rights for that stuff. But yeah, it's really poor sitting across the table from a kid and saying, yeah, man, everything about you, you're totally good enough to protect our community. You just can't live in it, right? Yep. Absolutely. Go out.
Living in the scary apartments with their patrol car parked out front, and they have 2 or 3 guys living in there together.
Falls Creek.
Yeah.
I'll call it out. All right. I saw a cop car in there. I was like, oh, man.
Is that Julia?
Yeah, that's Julia. It's Julia. And in all fairness, it was better when I left. It had a bad run there for a while. But yeah, you see a patrol car, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Get out of here. You can't be Section 8 and be a cop, dude.
That's sad.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that that's changed. I know our community, and it sucks that it takes an event like this, but it is a constant reminder how awesome our community is.
It's so funny when you guys would get laterals from California that would be like, I'm used to getting waved at with one finger, not five.
Yeah.
And because we would get people, and I'm like, you can come inside, you get a discount, the whole thing. And they were like, but why?
Right.
Like, oh, we actually like you.
Yeah. I know it's weird.
It's a hard one for guys to get over that.
Yeah.
I believe it.
It is. Like a lot of the people that are moving here, we're like constantly having to talk them off a ledge. Like our buddy Mike, who just came here from the west side, older guy. And sorry, Mike, I shouldn't have said that you were an older guy.
Yeah.
But the whole time he's out here looking at homes, he's like locking doors behind him. I'm like, whoa, it's like,
I know.
We're good.
just take a little pressure off. You're gonna be okay. Like,
Yep.
not saying you shouldn't lock your doors, but yeah, it's a different world here.
Yeah, but think about the long-term effects. This is how cool it is. It's a true partnership with the members of our community, because somebody comes in and they're like, well, why? They're immediately questioning why there would be anything favorable. But how do you think that translates to their interaction with citizens? It was one of the hardest things for officers to learn coming from other places in my experience. Hey, bro, our community's not big enough for that. This is still a growing city with a small town mentality. You treat people with respect on traffic stops. If you happen to stop that soccer mom, right, that gets pulled over once every 7 years, tell her why you stopped her. Tell her why you wanted her to get her home safe. Tell her why it's a violation. Make her laugh and send her on about her business. That interaction that you have with that person for 7 minutes is going to frame her entire opinion of anybody in a badge for the next 7 years. So if you're going to move up here, and this is a good lesson for everybody, you're moving to this community. Adjust to our community, because you moved here for a reason, right? I mean, and it is an adjustment for cops coming from
It
other
takes a
places.
few months, I think, even for people that aren't cops that are moving up here and just to decompress. It takes a few months.
Yeah, and I get that. So did you ever think you'd be sitting here 10 years ago?
No.
No,
I didn't.
You didn't see it growing like this?
No, I figured we would have one and just do the same thing, the whole time. I only had 5 employees, and that was kind of our mission. And
How many employees do you have now?
40.
And you have
I was in your spot on Spokane Street the other day. What day was it?
I love that
during
spot.
the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I look in the back, and there's like a bunch of people working back
Yep.
there. I was
I
like,
have-
you guys are baking.
Gosh, I have like 8 to 10 bakers now, and it used to be me and one other girl, and we would each take one day off and bake on each other's opposites, and then together the other days. But it's crazy how big of an operation it is now.
Like, how many scones are you guys making a day?
Hundreds.
They're
it's
so good,
it's
too.
the bagels for me, because we used to make like 24 a day, and we had a big order for tomorrow. So between today and tomorrow, it's 900.
900
And
bagels.
here's the thing. We hand roll them. So we don't have a machine that makes your bagel. Like, we are out there hand rolling these bad boys.
Dang.
Yes.
Made with love.
Yes. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're like, mother.
Made with ink.
freaking
That's why
bagel.
it's
Yeah.
delicious.
You
Yes.
supply a bunch of other shops around here, too, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
Well, and so you have 3 locations now. You have old school.
5.
What?
I know. Welcome.
Taking
Can't keep up.
Freaking
So we
Starbucks
have-
business
You have
plan.
the
Here
new
we
one on
go.
You have the new one on 4th Street.
New one on 4th Street.
I have not been there yet.
Which that one's huge. And then, yes, the walls are blank, and we are getting artwork. That's our number one
Is
comment.
side question, is that big enough to house like 20 to 30 people for a weekly
I
event?
think it's 79 is what the city gave us as
Because
occupancy.
the Patriot Pour
Yeah, I need
Oh,
a new
yeah.
venue.
has a
Need a new
temporary
venue.
home over at Best Western, but I don't know if that's
Sounds
permanent.
amazing.
Yeah, it's a weekly thing. And it needs to be a big room that's semi-private.
Yeah, we have a conference room. I haven't arranged it to fit 30 yet, but I probably could.
We probably average like 20, but it's
Yeah.
possible to have 30.
I bet
Yeah.
we could do that.
Okay, I'll
That's
put
a
the
fun
bug in.
group because they love. It's a lot of the stuff we like.
Yeah.
Where it's, hey, we're going to talk about local politics. Of course, comes up, but they want to stay informed. That's why I did the Judicial Watch before this. I want people to be informed. A good, informed and educated population is a good population, and we want them to know about stuff like this. It's a great group. It's a lot of guys that are former cops that don't know what to do with their hands,
Yep.
which I understand.
We're going to have to start doing murder mystery
Yes.
parties.
Yes, there you go.
We're going to
That
watch an
would be
episode of the first 48.
hilarious.
And
Yeah.
your goal is to solve it before
There's,
they do.
there's some legit detectives in that group. It'd be pretty
Yeah,
hilarious.
they're probably
So-
on the first 48.
Yeah.
Some of those guys. Yeah.
I've met one, and I was I like fangirled over the fact that I've seen this guy so many times
Yeah.
on the show.
You know, my mom's been on 2.
Has Was she really?
I freaking
No.
didn't even know about one of them until I watched it. I was like, wait, that's my mom. That was kind of cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love
yeah,
it.
no, she was pretty legit.
One of our founding members was a homicide detective in LA, and he talks about how he was there before LA Homicide was LA Homicide, before DNA became a thing, and they
Yeah.
actually had to do like nitty gritty police work. But he had, if you sit down with him, he talks about O.J. Simpson, the Night Stalker, just all of these things that you've seen documentaries on, and like that was his job.
Does that mean like locking the room and beating a confession out of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mad respect.
That's why
It's
I'm
like a
like,
lead sap. That's what they had.
make sure your donations are coming this way.
Yes.
We know people.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good guy to have on
Yeah.
your board, 100%. They just checked it and clear. All right.
The old school LA cops, like they have the best stories.
They do.
Think
Yeah.
what you will about California, but police work back in there in the day in like the 70s and the 80s. Holy shit.
Oh, even some of the new ones. Like you talked to Cowan.
Oh yeah.
It was
It's a
riot.
different world.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fun to like think about and look at from a distance. I
see in your
definitely
own community.
wouldn't want to live there. But,
No. So with red and blue blowing up, where do you see it in the next 2 to 3 years?
Oh man, we've before this happened, we had already started talking about expansion plans because right now we only have Kootenai County, so we're talking about expanding to the 5 northern counties. Which would be great for us because, they're all really tiny departments. We're talking like 5 to 12 sworn on their departments. So if anyone needs support, it's them.
Yeah, we've had Sheriff Lindsay from Shoshone County on, and just hearing her department, she's doing the best. They're doing a great work over there, but they have very few resources. Like they are a broke department.
And I feel like we are so resourceful. So being able for them to even say, we don't know where to get this equipment at a cost that can fit us. We have a person for that. Like, how can we help you find that? I'm very much someone that I'm like, the problem is going to be solved. We just have to figure out how. And we've looked into grant writing. We can help them do that. But we want to make sure that all of these departments are successful and that they have the tools and resources they need to do that.
Well, it's nice to just be in that official capacity too, because I know you guys don't say no. If somebody needs help, you guys don't
Yeah.
say no. If somebody reached out front, you don't. But it'd be nice to have the infrastructure in place to do that in a more official or formal capacity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it helps us build relationships too.
Right.
A lot of the incidents, this one in particular, we had 300 first responders come to this from all over, from Shoshone, from Spokane, like everyone was
Wow.
there. So when you look at it from that perspective, we need to be able to help them out too.
Right.
They saw a lot of the same things. So if we can't provide them the mental health that we're providing, the 600 that we have in our area, it's kind of a shortfall for us.
Right. Absolutely. There's definitely a gap there for sure. And I think that's begun to be addressed, but it's still in its infancy, it almost seems like.
Well, yeah, and when you look at how far behind we even were with this foundation and how far we've come even in the last 3 years, when you look at tiny towns, they're way further behind than we are.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Especially in those where you know everybody. So some of the
Yes.
things that you respond to or
Right.
you grew up with that person or it was your teacher or whatever that
My
is.
mom grew up in St. Mary's. I spent all of my summers there growing up, and the first 3 digits of the phone number were the same. So when you asked someone for their phone number, they would just give you the last 4 digits. And so it was, that's how
Yeah.
small the town is.
Right.
Wild.
But when things happened, it's like word travels so fast, and it is. It's your kindergarten teacher, it's your best friend's mom, and everyone knows your business. So you can't just walk into the hospital and say, I need to see a clinician. I'm having a rough time, because everyone will know by the end of the day. And ours will travel. So ours will, they're assigned areas. So we have one for Shoshone. So it would be really easy for us to integrate something like that. Yeah.
Maybe I should have found out what area you're assigning me to first. All right.
You're staying with us. It's the clinicians that are assigned.
Bonner's Ferry.
So essentially, because of how the board, we would grow how many seats we had, or we would kind of duplicate it. So we would have our liaisons for our department in Bonner's Ferry, in Sandpoint, for all of these.
Yeah. That's cool.
What are some of the major fundraisers you guys do every year?
We do a gala in January. So this year it's a night in Monte Carlo. The tickets go
What's
on
that
sale
mean?
pretty soon.
How do I have to dress for this? Can I wear my
so-
camo blazer?
Yes, you can.
Really? Does that
So,
fit?
I mean, sure. So last year it was 007 Casino Royale, and we had
Yes.
card tables.
It was an epic event.
Oh
That was
man,
an
so fun.
Oh wait,
Epic
that's
event.
I didn't wear the camo blazer. We got tuxes for that one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
okay.
got
Yeah.
we
Never
went and got tuxes for it.
Yeah.
Her speech
so-
was ridiculous and made me cry a little bit.
So
You
I
don't
get
cry.
so nervous doing that, and I just black out. And then
You were awesome.
I get down and I'm like, I don't know what I said.
Well, you
Yeah,
rocked
you
it.
were
So good
great.
job.
Thanks.
You do well blacked out. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have that one.
That is a big deal.
That was our very first one. So for it to go as well as it did, I was expecting like, the bride running away at the wedding, like something was going to happen. It went so well. We had a blast.
You guys bring in a good chunk of money doing that?
Yeah. That one we cleared like 85,000.
That's awesome.
So for that to be our first fundraiser, first gala, we do our golf tournament, which is that one sells out so fast. It's really, really fun. Avondale treats us very well. And that one brings in usually between 30 and 40,000. That used to be our biggest fundraiser until we did the gala.
That golf tournament, I can't golf. Okay, this will shock nobody. I can't golf for beans, but that tournament is so much fun.
It is.
We have to use kids' golf clubs, probably.
No, dude, I have normal sized arms. I just have short legs. All right, we've been over this. Okay, but
I can't help myself.
the event is unbelievable. There's such a huge part. There's always one cop that goes buck wild, but it's a lot of fun.
Someone swims in the pond.
Yes.
Somebody crashes a golf cart.
Yes. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'll tell you these things in confidence. But
It's
a
been
lot
a
of
few
fun.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, we have great sponsors. People always want to get in on that one, and we've been doing that one. This is our 19th or 20th year for that tournament.
Did you guys just combine with Coeur d'Alene Police Foundation?
We did.
Okay.
Yep. So they still have a foundation. They're still a nonprofit, and they do it for mostly community outreach and toy drive, some things that they do in the winter, holidays and heroes. And then we took their mental health program, but we also took their fantastic board member with it to run our mental health program.
Good.
Yep.
She'd probably get mad if we even mentioned her name right now because she likes to be.
She's so good at this.
I
Like
believe
that was a calling for her.
Right.
So good at it.
Good
We
to
are
know.
very blessed that we got her.
That we went to that. That's where we got the bench, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
At
yeah,
their
Yeah.
I get shit about that all the time. Apparently, it was my
It's
fault.
still in the middle of our brokerage, like in the middle of the hallway. It's prominently displayed.
Someday it'll be in the podcast room.
Yes. it should
We
be.
bought this really cool bench. I don't even know. It's like all blue line stuff. It's welded. It's cool as shit. It's like the back of it's a tailgate.
Yeah, it's
I always tell people it's a tailgate from a Crown Vic, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then they think about it for a second. I'm like, "Oh, you
Wait a
son of a
minute.
bitch." Yeah, that thing's cool.
Yeah, it's super
It
legit.
was worth it, man.
Well,
Those are the items that we love to get because they're one of a kind and they're meaningful.
custom made.
Yep.
That thing's
Yep.
cool. It's always going to be around us somewhere.
yeah, that was one of those
It weighs
rare
1,000
times.
pounds.
Yeah. Seth had consumed it. I don't think Dave was at that one. Seth's like, screw it, we're buying it. We're
I
doing
think we
it.
should buy this, guys. It makes a
doing
lot
it.
of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's
Did you
pretty
guys do the
legit.
shot ski too?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Well, it was Cantrell
I
got
just
the
remember
shot ski.
Cantrell,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Because they were like, don't open your own booze here. And then I look over and Cantrell's pouring it.
Oh yeah, I had to take shots with him off the shot ski, which was a pretty
was
good
good.
time. But that was a great event too, and Johan spoke at that one, and that
Yep.
was pretty
God,
incredible.
he's good. He's a good speaker as well.
He is.
He's great.
That is a gift.
Well, I just think that with the momentum this has going and the long-term need, I still wish that a foundation wasn't necessary to gap that. Like it shouldn't be. It's amazing that it is. But I think as a community, people are recognizing now that you got to keep them. You got to keep our first responders healthy, and it's not just for them; it's for the ones at home,
Yep.
right? To get them back after this
Yes.
mess.
And we hope, that with all of this, people do kind of use our model to serve their communities too. NYPD reached out this week, and as I was walking, because everyone's like, how do we know that you're actually giving them the money? So we give them their website. I walk them through exactly what our process is, who's on our board. I've been very well rehearsed the last few weeks on saying that, and the gal from NYPD, she's like, wow, you guys really have your shit together. It's like,
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
No big deal.
So I'm guessing I was going to ask that. I'm sure you're cool with it, but we have listeners from all over the country, from police departments, fire departments, everything else. I'm sure someone's going to reach out and want to know more information about the model and how you guys do this. So
I mean, Jessica and I can probably put together like a little 2-pager on how we do all of the things that we do in a very simple format, because we would love to see these pop up. When we were going around and feeding the firefighters, they're from all over Idaho. We had people from everywhere. And they were like, you guys really work together very well.
Yeah. It was.
It's not a lot of ego. It just everybody's like,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to recruit this skill set onto our because they can do this and this and this, and everybody just kind of
Yep.
blends.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
you guys are as selfless as the men and women running up to the call.
Yeah. Well, and,
100%.
like what I said, we didn't want to fail anyone. If they would have said, we need you to go to the moon tomorrow, I would have been like, okay, I need to get Elon's number. We're going to figure this out. Like,
Does anybody know a guy?
I
That's
had
the guy.
zero shame calling anyone. Like, if they wanted it, we were getting it.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, that was pretty cool to watch. I know we talked about it a little bit before, but how many people rallied when it was like, hey, we need some available VRBOs. And everybody's, no cost, no cost, no cost, no cost. I have this, I have
Amazing.
this, I have this. And it was crazy to coordinate, like
Yeah.
trying to coordinate, giving it all to, and it's like, all right, that's a lot logistically, but still pretty awesome. It's a good problem to have.
It is.
We
We
have-
had over 100 people offer up their homes.
100.
And then on top of that, when we found out that, because, there's some weird rules about medics coming from Washington to Idaho, we ended up having to get Idaho only. So they were traveling, Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Boise. So we had another 65 firefighters coming, and we were like, where do they stay? So then it was the list of, hey, how many people can you fit on your couch? How many spare bedrooms do you have?
Wow.
But
Right.
most of that was internal. It was cops and firefighters opening up their spare bedrooms and whatnot. But yeah, we're going to have a
Wow.
Google sheet for that too. So on our website, you can say like, I would donate my Airbnb so that we can keep all of that information on hand. Cause it was a lot to,
Yeah.
we're like,
I don't
okay,
even know
who's
how
Betty?
When
you
you
guys did that.
When you've talked about that, I mean, the lesson learned, and I've always said this with law enforcement training, the most that I learned was debriefs from cases, from critical incidents. I learned more from listening what went right, what went wrong, and from my own what went right, what went wrong. But I think you guys have an excellent case study moving forward for an SOP for another community to go, here's what you can expect and here's your timeline. Because watching the one that when Greg was killed, the comparison, and maybe I was just from a different perspective, I don't know, because I was still working patrol then, but this seemed to be so smooth and organized. There was just, you guys were a one-stop shop for everybody.
Yep, that's what the goal was, because we also witnessed that, and with Mike, it becomes such a cluster because you have so many cooks in the kitchen. So it's like, stay in your lane. You're going to do this. You're going to do this,
Right.
and then the 600 texts in group chat if you have to follow up.
Right. And then, but assign it and see
Yep.
more. I think I texted you. I was like, hey, whatever you need. You're like, cool. How about this? I was like, oh, shit. All right, boys.
Yes.
We're cooking pork.
Saddle up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scott,
was
get in the
great.
kitchen.
Scott's up all night
Yes.
cooking 16 pork butts or
Yeah,
whatever.
that was a good time.
But
It
that's,
was.
everyone, especially here, everyone wants to do something.
Like,
and
100%.
most of it's
Like,
usually
what can we
food.
do? Yeah.
Right.
But it's those service-based things. It was beautiful to see how many people, even after we were like, we have so much food.
Yeah.
We're like, here's a little lasagna.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever, man. Thanks for the love. Because that's, I feel like I didn't eat for 3 or 4 days after my dad died. Like, that was the last thing
Yeah.
on my mind. You're just so overwhelmed.
Right.
And we had a million pizzas and, casseroles. That's people's love language. Like, they want to give you something from the heart. And
Right.
it was so, we took so much food to search and rescue that will help them, dry goods, different things that if they have to go to another critical incident or there's a missing child or whatever, and they have to take their trailer out, we were able to help them too. It really does spread.
Yeah.
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 And I think that mentality is infectious. People in the community here immediately want to go do something. And sometimes it's just like you do on a critical incident. If that person is like hovering, be like, hey, go get a wet towel, buddy. Like, go
Yes.
do something. But it's great because people are so eager to help and assist.
And it fills their cup to be able to do
Right.
something. Yeah.
On that note, what do you guys need right now?
We need auction items for the golf tournament.
'Kay.
And then people just to support our events and make donations to our general fund. And our mental health, honestly. That one's going to get depleted pretty quick
Yep.
after this.
Okay.
Which, by the way, we will not turn anyone away from mental health. Even if
Right.
it gets depleted, like, we will absolutely take care of them.
Make it work.
So I will link the website to the Red and Blue Foundation, which is the easiest way to make a donation.
Yes.
How can people donate auction items for the?
They can fill out a Google Doc on our events page
Okay.
and put what their basket is compiled of, and they can drop it off either at First Interstate Bank or any of the Anchored Coffee locations, and then we'll get them to the golf tournament.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
A lot of talented people out there. If it's like cool metalworks, I mean, it's a lot of cops, firefighters, first responders, military.
Yeah.
If it's some cool Americana shit with guns and stuff like that, people are going to dig it.
If it's heavy and made of steel, we're in.
People
Yeah,
are
I'll buy
going
it.
to dig it.
A Crown Vic. I keep trying to convince them to do more experience donations. I'm like,
Yeah.
can
Oh,
we
yeah.
do an EVOC day? Because I would definitely.
It's so
pay
much
for
fun.
that.
People would love that.
Yes.
I don't-
I'm like, what is the insurance policy we need on this?
Yes.
But
I don't know
can
if I've
you
ever
imagine?
laughed so hard in my life. Just EVOC days were the most fun. I was out of
I
control.
think too, even if you just got to go
Yeah.
and watch or sit shotgun.
What if
you know?
what if they got to tase Dave or something? I mean, how much would people
Hey,
pay
Dave.
for
I did. I went to one of the air unit fundraisers and they did tase someone at that, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But it went for, I can't remember. I think it went for a couple $1,000s.
I would get tased for a good cause.
I would get pepper sprayed for a good cause. I'll take
I would
that.
rather get tased. Dude.
We've had this conversation
Man,
many times. I fucking hated
I've
getting
been pepper
tased
sprayed
so
so
bad.
many times, dude.
me
And then the
too.
shower
Me too.
sucks.
No.
You know what I'm talking about? The shower
Burning.
sucks, dude. There's no.
The
It goes down.
The baby shampoo in the eyeballs, right to the eyeballs, dude.
No,
It,
I'll get tased.
clears it up in 10 minutes.
There we go. How much would you pay to tase Dave?
I want to do the EVOC day.
All right, that's
No,
fair.
I want to
All
taste
right,
Dave. I
that's
think we
good.
should taste
Yes,
Dave.
I
Let's do
think
it.
tasing Dave.
Yeah.
You know, watching some of these videos at the academy where people get tased and they like, as they're going down, they puke.
Yeah.
So I think that would be
Oh,
the real
wow,
caveat
dude, I
is
haven't
if
seen
I
that.
pay like $1,000 to tase Dave, what if he pukes?
I mean, I would pay
legendary.
extra for that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you
You
get a
got a
bonus.
bonus.
It's like a fight bonus in MMA.
Yeah.
Be like,
Get
oh,
extra-
it's a puke bonus.
Extra
Yes.
$250 if he pukes. Yeah.
Yes, that would
I'm
be
in.
that would be pretty glorious.
Kick him in the nuts
I
and
just
then
feel
tase
like
him.
he would take it though. Like,
He
don't
would.
know
I
if
think he would like it.
Yeah.
He's weird like that.
Yeah, he is a little bit.
Did he have to get tased in the academy?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a little masochistic. I think he would kind of like. But yeah, I think experience-based ones. All right, that's a good one to think about because
Yeah.
we definitely have some people out there that listen to this that we've had on. Well, God, we just had Mike with Snipercraft. That'd be a
there's
they
a-
did one for the gala.
Ton of cool people
really cool,
that could put something on like that.
immensely
asked,
talented.
I asked Gilly if he would let me take the Bearcat through a shop to just get ice cream
Yeah,
when he was doing that, and he was like, "No."
yeah.
Okay.
God, what if you got to drive the Bearcat and
Drive the Bearcat through a wall or
For a
something.
house.
right?
Yeah.
Something cool like
Like
that.
something they're tearing down already. Anyways.
I got to do that once. It was pretty, it was
I
amazing.
may or may not have done that in my life too. Just saying.
No, but that's cool. So
'Cause,
if you
if you're a full-time banker, the opportunity, unless you're a bad guy, probably won't present itself
Yeah.
for you to do something
Right.
like
yes,
that.
exactly. Until now.
Yes.
All right, there we go. The gauntlet's been thrown down. No, but
Make it happen, people.
Hey, truly, what if somebody wants to get bit by a canine with one of the arm sleeves on?
Yeah.
Hey,
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But if anybody's got any cool ideas for experiences that you think would be awesome auction items, drop us a line. Let us know. That would be pretty neat because we're all
Yeah.
about that creativity.
Even ones where it's like you know, you're a sushi house and you get to be a sushi chef for a day. Like
Yeah.
people will pay for that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to learn new skills or be something for a day.
Yeah.
I would pay to just go sit on my couch for a day and not have to have my
That could be the
someone
experience.
handles my
Someone
phone for a
else
day.
has to answer it.
Yeah.
Answer Seth's phone
That'd be
for the
freaking
day.
cool.
That would be good. That would
The
be
amount of
nice.
times in the last 3 weeks that I'm like, do you just want to do call forwarding? Because I'll answer all of these. We'll see what happens.
Gosh, how much have you slept?
So the other night, I think it was Friday night, I slept for 6 hours straight. And that was probably more than I got in a few days.
Oh my
Really?
god.
Yeah, because it's, if we're getting calls from the East Coast and they get up early, I usually get up at 3:45 anyways. I go to the gym and then I go to work. So I'm already getting up early.
You got me beat by an hour. Damn it. I
love
thought I
it.
was good.
Slacking,
I love
bro.
going in when there's like 2 cars in the parking
Yeah.
lot.
Gangsters.
Yes.
the best.
But I stayed up way later than I normally do because, and so did Jessica. We were just doing spreadsheets and fielding phone calls. But, I wouldn't trade that for anything. Being able to be that resource and having the capacity to do that, I'm really glad that we were able to do that.
You are driven.
Yeah.
I think that this community needs to show you support by shopping at Anchored Coffee and getting your coffee there. So
Yeah.
if you want to give back to someone who gives back a lot, go get coffee from there. And scones, they're damn good.
I do like the scones.
They're
That's
good.
freaking
Dangerously
wild.
good.
We've been growing the Memorial Foundation or the Red and Blue Foundation
Right.
plus Anchored all at the same
And
time.
running a business. Good
That's
stuff.
wild.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we're doing all right. Then I look at your schedule. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn
damn
it, dude, I'm slacking right
Weak.
now.
My ADHD kicks in really well sometimes, and I'm like,
Yes.
this is going to be great.
This
That's
is
why
it.
you
It's a
like-minded
superpower.
people.
Yeah.
ADHD,
Superpower.
It 100%
I
is.
1000% think
Yeah.
it's a superpower. I was reading this article yesterday, and it was like, if you have one task that someone assigns you and you're interested, I think that's why I did so well the last 3 weeks, because I'm like, okay, we're giving them whatever they want.
Yep.
So I was very task driven.
Right.
Yep.
There was no slowing down.
I don't think they should be medicating these kids. I think they should just give them some direction.
Yes.
And let them rip.
Absolutely. Throw them in
Yes.
an instant and be like, you got it.
Yes.
Dude, go get it.
Solve
That's
the
what
problem.
helped with me. I got all fired up just going after felon, and I could not stop. I could not contain myself.
And now we've got him fired up on real estate, and he can't stop. And it's just awesome.
I love it.
No, I don't know,
It is
bro.
great.
I don't know. It's hard because you gotta taper it, right? And you're like, all right, I need these 2 hours to myself.
Full
But
send it, bro.
I know.
Don't
it's
be a
good time.
quitter.
Well,
What do you do for 2 hours?
what's that?
When they're like, you're going to sit here for 2 hours, 12 minutes in, I'm like, what's
I
next?
can't. I can't.
Nah.
Honestly,
Do you
what
have
I
a
found,
puzzle?
I like cutting down trees. Like
I'm gonna
that's
go
kind of
chop
my,
wood,
that's
yeah.
kind of my thing on the weekends. I like cutting down trees where I'm like zoned out and like dirty and covered in sawdust and like sweating. Like that relaxes me.
There is power in
Destruction.
manual labor, dude. Yes.
Yes, that's the most relaxing thing
Yeah.
that I can do because I'm the guy on vacations or when I'm supposed to relax. I can't. I
No.
cannot sit still.
You're probably annoying on vacations.
Yeah, I've got my vacations planned where it's like intense. Like we're gonna get up. Like when we went to Kauai and we went and hiked all the way out, slept under the trees, and then it was like 24 miles or something like that. It's like this will be fun. It'll
I'm
be
that person.
relaxing.
Don't invite me if you want to sit Mai Tais on the beach. Because
No.
I'm like, we're getting up
No,
at
that's boring.
6.
We'll be right.
Yes.
We're, yeah.
We're maximizing.
Yes.
Yes.
We are going to watch the sunrise every day.
Yes.
In a different city.
I'm the same way. I cannot. This vacation. All right, it's going to be work. Let's go. Let's sign up. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, let's wrap it up. Kassie, thank you. Thank you for your service to this community, first of all. That's freaking huge.
Yeah,
Red and Blue Foundation's amazing. Thanks to everyone else that is on the board and that helps it function. I think we have just a beautiful community here of people that love to come together and help each other out. And I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, truly. Thank you for what you do. And we are awfully proud of you, and your dad would be too,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
for turning something like that into something so awesome that means so much to everybody. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have to drop this little nugget. I went to a training in Texas that Echelon Front put on. It's the Leif Babin, Jocko
yeah.
Willink, one of the best investments I've ever made. But they talked about in tragedy, how do you take ownership over that? Because, it's all about taking ownership. And the guy that was on stage said, you can't own what happened, but you can own how you react. And I feel like that was the moment that I was like, I did that. Yeah. I can't own that I lost my dad, but I can own what good I do with that situation.
Right. So now in your mind, when it comes up, it's still like hits, but you're like, yeah, but look what I did with it.
Yes.
Look how many
Yep.
people I've helped from it.
Yep. And
pretty
hopefully,
incredible.
prevented from the same thing happening, or in tragedy that I can hold your hand and help you through it.
Yeah. So instead of letting it be a weight, you're constantly swimming against it. You're like, no, I'm just
Yep.
going to be stronger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Thank you, Kassie.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Catch you next time.